It's Margarita, and I am about to spill the tea on me. Yes, you heard that right. I decided to open up more on my channel, be more personable, if you will. I'm a very private person. I do not like to put any of my business out for public scrutiny or for public knowledge because, you have to keep a certain element of privacy just for your own sanity and peace of mind. That said, I am willing to share a few little things. And this one, I wanted to tell you all about why I am no longer a niche snob. Yes, you've heard me call myself a niche snob several times on this channel. And I do still tend to prefer niche fragrances and luxury items. However, I also am a very practical person. And once you strip away all of the fluff and bells and whistles of a niche or high-end product, you really have to sit with it and determine, am I buying this because of the name, the label, the price, the hype, or am I buying this because I really like it and it's something that works for me? And I had to sit back and ask myself this question. I had some revelatory moments when I was assessing things that I have in my closet, that I have in my collection, and so on and so forth. And I realized that I am finding myself enjoying my less costly items more than a lot of my niche items. So I've actually started liking fragrance dupes and more affordable fragrances. And you know what? I'm okay with that. For a while, I was not okay with that because I thought that it was me degrading my brand in some capacity. But then I'm like, you know what? I work for my money and I can spend it how I want. And if I choose to spend my money on a product that is not expensive because I truly like it versus spending something that is expensive because of what other people are going to think about it, that's not a reason to do anything. And it may have even been the result of being over-influenced. I am on this huge kick right now about people really making sound choices for themselves and not doing things only because they've been influenced to do so. Let me know in the comments if you agree. That said, I'm going to tell you some of my favorite items that are not niche, that are affordable, that I have found high quality, and why I prefer these over the more expensive version. Let's go. Burberry Her Elixir. Y'all know I am not somebody who likes designer fragrances. However, this to me is probably the best designer fragrance ever made. Granted, the perfumer is Francis Kirk John, who is a niche designer, has his own house, who is the creator of the cult classic Baccarat Rouge 540. I don't like that. This, however, to me, is a fruitier, more gourmand version of that, and I love this. Also, this is about half the price of a bottle of Baccarat, maybe even a third, but I truly like this. Do you know I had to wrestle with myself to actually say, you like this. It's okay if it's a designer fragrance. And my whole thing with, I don't have anything against designers. I just believe that scent is something that is tied to memory. So I like to get things that are less accessible to the masses, if you will. So I don't want to smell like everybody else. However, body chemistry does play a major role in that. So you won't smell exactly like everybody else. And plus there's always the option to layer. So Burberry Her and the Elixir version in particular, I absolutely love this. This is, sometimes I'll just sniff the bottle to put me in a happy place. And I have no regrets. I have no qualms about saying I love this designer fragrance, Burberry Her. My favorite celebrity fragrance is Taylor by Taylor Swift. This also has a very sentimental tie for me because this was the first fragrance that my husband bought me. And I love it. This smells so good. The quality and performance on this is amazing. And I've had this for years and it only gets better with time. This has not gone rancid. This at the time only cost like 50 or 60 bucks. It might be even cheaper now because it's been out for years. But this right here, this is a Boss B fragrance right here. This is date night after 5. I am in charge and I want the world to know what type of fragrance, and it's so inexpensive. To be able to get a fragrance of this quality for less than 50 bucks is awesome. I have fragrances that are hundreds of dollars that have poor performance, poor quality. I'm really not in love with the smell as much as this. And so I'm like, you know what? Yep. Love it, rock it, be proud of it. Now, the best Pear fragrance I have ever smelled, period, is this 1999 Beauty Pear Blossom by Mix Bar. I just got this a couple months ago. Might even be 2 months ago. But I did a full review on this channel. Do you know this is the most amazing Pear perfume, and the performance is amazing. If you remember the Pear Glacé by Victoria's Secret, this is an amped up version of that. Y'all, this is everything a Pear should be. And yep, it was only 20 bucks. I have yet to smell a niche Pear anything that compares to this $20 fragrance. So we wear it loud and we wear it proud, right, ladies? Get this at your local Target. This right here is probably the sexiest take on musk ever made in the history of the world, of the universe. This is Musk Tahara by Maison d'Orient. Y'all, this was actually gifted to me by the company. I was out in Las Vegas and I visited their store, and they were so kind, and they gave me this to try. I got this home, and they gave me this one, and they gave me a pink musk. I didn't quite care for the pink musk too much because it was rose dominant. My husband swiped that one. Rose does great for him. But if you want to smell so sexy without overdoing it, without it being overpowering, with it just being the perfect amount of everything that embodies sensuality, Musk Tahara is so awesome. And this was like 15 bucks, I think. And a little bit goes a long way. This is a highly concentrated perfume oil. You guys, you cannot go wrong with Musk Tahara. And I believe there are many other companies that may make this. But let me tell you, this would be the best 15 bucks you will ever spend. If you had to have like a single sexy scent for yourself, Musk Tahara is that girl. And is wonderful for men too. This is a great unisex scent. And oh my God. Yeah, it is that good. It is amazing. Now, for those who love niche, if you love Xerjoff's Erba Pura and similar fragrances, I think Tiziana Terenzi might have something that smells similar. There's a lot of brands that have things that are in the same vein as Erba Pura. Even I could say somewhat of the vein of Baccarat Rouge 540, the extrait version. They could be distant cousins, I think. This layering combo right here, Le Toxique and Enchantress by S1CK, will change your life. These are fragrances that I actually did reviews on recently, separately on this channel. You can check these out. These are pheromone infused fragrances, and I love Enchantress by itself. Did not care for Le Toxique by itself. It was just too much. It was too bold for me. But when I blended these together, y'all remember Captain Planet? With our powers combined, we are Captain okay. Sorry. Let me know in the comments if you like 90s cartoons. Anywho, this was like the Captain Planet that made Erba Pura what it was supposed to be, because Erba Pura itself was too much for me also. Something about it stung my nose. This though, this is sweet. It's subtle, but it projects, and it has amazing longevity and performance. So yes, I did not have to go and spend $500 to get this combination. And it's also got the added bonus of pheromones. Now for some dupes. And I will tell you, I am someone who typically does not believe in the concept of dupes. And I say that because perfume is an art form. And a perfumer spends a lot of time creating masterpiece fragrances. They gather certain ingredients and time, effort, and batches and energy. And it's a lot going into making a very nice perfume. So when someone makes a quote unquote knockoff version of a higher end fragrance, I don't quite like that, because in a way it's theft. I do believe that it's a bit unethical to make something that is supposed to be identical to something that someone else made. That's plagiarism, you know, the long and short of it. However, there are some dupes that I do like, and I like it, for example, if a fragrance is discontinued. If a fragrance is so difficult to get that it's not worth getting it, or if a fragrance has performance issues. So these dupes that I have them for one of those three reasons. So let's keep going. Miracle Essence by Genre Parfums. I didn't even know what this was at first. I got this in a swap because I had some fragrance I didn't quite care for, and they told me that it smelled like ice cream. So I was like, yeah, give it to me. I did not realize until I got it. I was like, oh, this is Essenza Miraculosa. It's much pricier. It's a niche fragrance. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that they only do limited batches. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments as to why it's so hard to get that. But people have difficulty getting it. I was able to get this technically for free in the swap, but it only cost, I want to say, like maybe $60, somewhere thereabout, to get from the designer, Louisiana Roma. And they once had a shop on Etsy. But I was just like, wow, when I tell you, this smells like the best, like vanilla butter cake ice cream. Yeah, like my favorite ice cream has got to be from Jenny's Ice Creams. Their gooey vanilla butter cake. Yes. And it's funny because I don't eat dairy, but I will eat ice cream from Jenny's. And it's only like once every other month, but still, like, for you to make me eat a dairy product, listen. Yes, so the Essenza Miraculosa smells amazing, but this Miracle Essence right here, the performance is insane. It smells so good and it's so affordable. So yes, I strongly recommend this. So if you can't get your hands on the original for some reason that it's just not available, then yeah, get a dupe and keep living your life. Now, this next combination, I recently reviewed a fragrance on the silver tray from Kriegler. Now, Kriegler silver tray means you can only get this in a store. It's not on their website, and there's only typically one bottle in each store. They only have, I want to say, maybe 7 stores in the US. So it's basically hard to get. So I went to go smell their most recent release, and they offered me that. And it was called Chocolate Caramel. Kriegler's Chocolate Caramel was the bee's knees of gourmands I had smelled. It was so amazing. I kept thinking about it. I brought the tester strip home just to keep smelling it for days and days. And I even did a review on this channel of it. That perfume smells so good. But I know it probably cost about $1,000 for the bottle. I could not wrap my head around spending $1,000 on a straightforward chocolate and caramel fragrance. It was really good. But I was like, before I go and buy that, let me see what I already have that could possibly compare. And so I was thinking about the notes and things, and I came across, there's a store that I have been buying from anyway, Endless Glow Skincare on Etsy. And she has these sprays. I do not own a single body spray. Like, I only like Perfumes or eau de parfum, that kind of a thing. I don't like body splashes. They're typically loaded with alcohol and the scent lasts for 5 minutes and it's gone. But the descriptions and the reviews kept saying that her body sprays were long lasting and they performed very well. So I'm like, okay. So I took a chance and she had a sale. And so I got these two, hot cocoa and caramel vanilla, because the notes in the Kriegler fragrance were Tahitian vanilla, caramel and chocolate and some coffee. Those are the prominent notes. I don't like coffee. That said, I could live with it a little bit if the chocolate and caramel and the vanilla are pronounced to tone it down. So I'm like, let me try these and layer them. And lo and behold and lo, I was able to 90% recreate that $1,000 fragrance for basically $15. These right here perform so well that I do not feel compelled to go back and spend $1,000. These last on clothes all day. And you can even get an oil version of this and also a body butter from that shop to even layer and lock in longevity even more. But when I tell you this smelled so close to that Kriegler, I was like, wow, $15 or $1,000. I think we see who won out. And the thing is, this isn't even a dupe. So it's not like the proprietor of the shop is selling these as dupes. This was my own idea. So that's another thing. If you can get the notes to something, you can start mixing and matching stuff you already have in your collection, or maybe create something if you don't like the price point of something, to create something that is perfect for you. So I'm happy with this. Is it a Kriegler? No. Does it smell amazing on me? Yes. And so this was a win. This right here, I found on Amazon during Prime Day. This is Miris number 503729. This was $25. And this is a dupe of Ex Nilo's Lust in Paradise. Lust in Paradise is probably the most beautiful rose fragrance I've ever smelled. It is so amazing, but that's where it stops. It's a good smell. The performance lasts 10 minutes. I would actually wear that to bed. Now, for me to have a fragrance that costs almost $300 that can only perform as a bedtime scent, I was not okay with that. So I ended up selling my bottle. I sold it several months ago, actually, but I love the smell so much. When I saw this, I was like, you know what? For $25, I'm happy to buy a dupe because the $300 version just did not perform. It was terrible on the performance. Let me know if you have issues with Ex Nihilo fragrances, particularly Lust in Paradise, the performance. Beautiful scent. Nobody got to smell it but me. No bueno. So I tried this just to see if I could at least get better performance. And then it was like, if it didn't perform better, it was only $25. This delivered. And this delivered actually better than I was expecting because the performance on here, the smell even, when I tell you this is a spot on dupe, even from a performance standpoint. So it doesn't perform very great either. It's a little bit better than the original, but they duped this so well that the performance on here, it fades over time too and becomes a skin scent. But the scent is spot on. So if you want a $25 dupe for a poor performing fragrance, go with Midis number 503729. I'm actually tempted to try some of their other fragrances based on my experience with this one. Let me know if there are some good Midis fragrances that you've tried that you like as well. And lastly, Andromeda's Moon inspiration of Lyra by Xerjoff. Now, the reason I have this, I actually got it in a swap. I got this one because my favorite fragrance, period, is Italica by Xerjoff. If I had to pick one scent, it would be that. Like, then to get rid of my whole collection, Xerjoff Italica is the best gourmand fragrance ever made in my mind. But Lyra is really good too. But I don't like it as much to actually buy a bottle and spend $300 or $400 on a bottle of it. So if you just kind of like a fragrance, you just like it a little bit, then yeah, go with the dupe. That way you can enjoy it for the times you want to and don't feel bad that you don't reach for it that much. So I forget how much Andromeda's Moon fragrances cost, but they are very affordable. So if it's a fragrance that you kind of like or that you don't even know if you like that much, or one you don't think you'll get good use out of, then yes, go for a dupe. So I really hope that, you know, this kind of helps you get some ideas as to why I'm okay with wearing dupes now. Bonus, honey, the Dua brand. We cannot forget the Dua brand. I really love them. I was introduced to them through one of the fragrance groups that I'm a member of. And what I love about them the most are the hybrids and the tribrids and the quabrids. I love not having to buy 5 individual bottles of something to get a scent that I want. They've done it for me. And I like being able to get travel sizes. Not everything they make comes in travel size, but a lot of them do. And I love that because they're typically like $22 to $25. And that's good for me. I bore very easily with fragrances. I like to layer. And if I don't have to have a bottle of something just to layer with something else, like if a fragrance is not standalone to me, I don't want to buy a bottle of it. So this is one of my favorites. It's Gone Swimming in Caribbean Waters. Y'all, this is a mixture of Louis Vuitton's Afternoon Swim and Creed's Virgin Island Water. Those two are amazing standalone fragrances. They are both pricey on their own, but when you mix them together and you can get it for $22 without having to buy 2 bottles of it. Yeah. And then this one is a tribrid. This is Oh Damn Baby Goddess's White Milk. Now, this is, I forget what these 3 are. If I'm not mistaken, this is Crybaby, which has been discontinued and the bottles are going for stupid prices, like $900 or something like that. Burberry Goddess and White Milk. I think it might be Bianco Latte or something similar to that. Now, I don't like any of these fragrances on their own. I liked nuanced things about each one, but I didn't like them on their own. But I'm like, the balance of the 3 might actually make it wearable, and Dua delivered. So yes, if you want to have some combinations of the best parts of a fragrance that you can't get by buying the fragrance itself, go for a dupe that may already, you know, have done that for you. So I do love Dua for that they mix fragrances that people would not even think to mix and make these wonderful masterpieces. So just want to say this video was not sponsored by anybody. Just want to put that out there. I'm just telling y'all some great info that I found, but let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts on buying fragrance dupes and reasons for it. Let me know your thoughts on the original versus a dupe. If you think that performance issues can encourage you to want to buy a dupe just so you can enjoy the smell and not worry about paying a lot for something that's not going to perform for you. Also, if you'd like to try anything in my collection, if it's worth sharing, it is on my website, whistlenotes.com. And like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with other people who may love fragrances and want all the tea on this, that, and the third about smelling good. And until next time, I am Margarita, and you have an awesome day. Bye.